listen, I appreciate you wading through the technical stuff and joining us on the phone.
No
And
problem.
so I figure let's get started.
Sure.
You know, so the purpose. I was just talking with the folks, and you and I spoke about this. The purpose of of this is to educate folks on what's out there in the market. There's all different ways people are seeing to in this current climate to help stop the spread of communicable diseases. And there's a lot of different places in the world that you don't think are helpful. You don't even think of. And something that came to mind that is being able to walk in and out of a building or walking out of a room without touching anything. And
very true.
by reducing touch points, in facilities, you just eliminate little opportunities for people to get infected.
Very much so.
So I thought it was an important time to do this. And we love your products. I think we're doing an installation tomorrow. So
okay.
with a record operator. So that's why I reached out. And so I figured, before we get all into it, Tom, why don't you just give us a little bit of a brief background on you and your history in the industry, where you're living, and if you want to add a piece about how you're getting through the quarantine, the stay-at-home orders, feel free.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having us. We very much appreciate the opportunity to discuss automatic doors with you, and we appreciate the ability to expose Record to the market a little bit more. My background is I was a manufacturer's rep, much like Rich Eunice, for a little over 30 years, based in the Chicago market. That's where I live. I represented various hardware manufacturers to distributors over the years, and as the consolidations changed and moved around and became more of a groups and less independents, I slowly got out of the industry. I am now in the automatic door business, which I've enjoyed for a long time. We've had a lot of fun here. It's a way to use my experience in doors and learn a little bit more about the openings and how automatic doors work. I've been with Record for about 6 years, and it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, excellent. So I'll tell you, so I've got a few questions here I'd like to ask you. So first one would be, how will the COVID-19 impact doors and the use of automatic door systems?
Good question, Jonas. Well, we've all seen and experienced just how fast a virus can spread worldwide these days. You mentioned touch points earlier in the conversation, and doors and hardware probably provide one of the most common touch points that we encounter each day. Just touching a doorknob, touching a door, touching a push plate can result in a contamination. The touch point, doors have been a touch point for years. However, automatic doors can change that by eliminating those touch points and opening up doors automatically. For many years, the benefits of automatic doors was convenience and accessibility for the handicapped. But now with the coronavirus, I think our convenience and accessibility will be less driving forces, and we'll see more of a future, just the ability to open a door and pass through it without touching it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's right out in front of us. And now, I know for everybody here on the call, it's pretty much we all know. But for the uninitiated, how do these doors operate? You walk through them, they open up and then they close, but you don't really understand why or what's powering it. And if you're somebody that owns a building, you're wondering if it's like a gigantic effort to put to retrofit something like that into your facility.
Sure. Sometimes it's magical. We walk up to a retail store and the doors just pop open by the time we get there. And some of us understand how that works and some of us don't. There's several types of automatic doors. Each of those automatic doors operates under different safety standards and requirements. Fully automatic doors have a safety system built into it, which usually uses a motion detector to detect a person approaching the door. Then the door opens, either swings or slides. And it also encompasses certain safety systems to prevent the door from opening when it shouldn't. Say someone's on the other side of the swing path of the door, may get involved and get injured there, or maybe the sliding mechanism shouldn't open because there's an obstruction somewhere. There are also low energy door operators that operate on a knowing act process, and that knowing act involves either pushing a plate, swiping a card reader, entering a code, or using some sort of knowing act device to activate the door operator. Those are common on low energy door operators, which are primarily used to allow access for the physically challenged and disabled to enter a building.
You see the increased use of like maybe some of like wearables or something on your phone, like a Bluetooth device working on these doors as they become more in use over time?
Absolutely. We're moving towards a technology that allows us to program our doors over an app and Bluetooth on phones. There are currently in place access control systems that use Bluetooth applications that will allow you to activate the door through their security system. Right now we use RF frequencies and handheld transmitters to activate the doors individually for a person that's in a wheelchair or something like that. But there's definitely security-driven doors that need to be activated by a security credential of some sort, whether that's a card reader or a Bluetooth application on a phone, similar to what we use in a hotel. If you've checked into hotels recently, maybe you used the Bluetooth application on the phone to activate your door lock. Those devices can be used. The technology is there today to do that. It's really just applying them and coming up with the funds to pay for it on your common doors.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, if let's say I'm a person who owns a small office building, maybe like 20, 30 tenants in there. And, you know, what would be, if you're trying to convince me that I need to start, that I should start using automatic doors and install them to my site, what would you say are some of the advantages that, you know, that are right in front of my face, but also something that I might not be aware of?
Well, the advantages are you're reducing your contamination points that we've discussed several times. You're also increasing your accessibility to the office building and making it more convenient to enter the building. Think of going into a grocery store, Jonas. You walk into the grocery store empty-handed, but when you walk out of the grocery store, you're got a lot of objects in your hands, bags and things. It's really nice that those doors open up automatically for you to let you out of there. You don't have to touch the door, pick up an influenza bug there, and then push that door open and exit the store. Using that same philosophy where people are constantly bringing in packages or display presentation materials or just materials moving throughout the building, automatic doors can provide the same convenience as well as reducing the touch points and thereby reducing your contamination and spread of viruses throughout the building and the office building.
And I might add that they reduce air conditioning and heating costs in the central part of the building. If you have a central hallway, it doesn't allow someone to leave the door open. And so you're minimizing your loss of either cool air or warm air.
Excellent.
That's correct. Rich points out a good thing. A fully automatic door can save you energy costs for closing the door on an average basis much quicker than a manual door or even a low energy door operator.
Yeah, that's something I never really thought of. Is there, are you guys able to quantify that in any way? Or I'm sure you must have some data point that you guys use from time to time.
I believe there is data available. I'm not familiar with it, but if you just think about the common sense
it makes sense.
Yeah, the door is closing on a much more consistent basis and speed and more consistently than a door that's either on a manual basis that can be left open or even a low energy door operator that can be held open for up to 30 seconds. A fully automatic door can only remain open for 5 seconds unless a safety mechanism takes over and holds that door open longer.
Yeah, if you have a lot of traffic, that just adds up over time. Makes a lot of sense.
It sure does.
So now, is there any? What are your limitations as far as where you can install an automatic door? Like, are there certain types of doors that you can't do it, or is it something that you could pretty much put on any type of existing door, depending on the use of it and where it's placed?
99% of doors can be retrofitted with a door operator or even a door system to accommodate the need in the specific space. Now, the space is the key. How much space do you have and what kind of traffic and what kind of traffic control are you looking for, as well as accessibility, energy savings, and convenience. All these things need to be taken into consideration to determine what type of door you actually need. Do you need a low energy door operator to gain access for the physically disabled? Or are you trying to control high volumes of traffic and make it convenient for them to pass through an opening? Those are the questions that need to be asked. And really the best way to get those answers is to deal with a qualified consultant, either a hardware consultant or an ADAM certified consultant for the proper application of the automatic door operator based on your needs.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I guess one of the bigger questions is like, is this gonna break the bank? How much is it? I know there's a wide range of devices and uses, but if you had to give a general range on what something like what adding a door operator would cost, do you have an idea what that would be?
Well, again, keep in mind there's various types of automatic doors. And depending on the actual need and condition that you're addressing will determine your costs.
Yeah.
A low energy automatic door operator in most markets can be installed for anywhere between $1,900 and $2,200 roughly.
Okay.
You can also go to fully automatic door systems, which depending on what the safety requirements are on that door and what you're actually trying to accomplish with security may runs the tens of thousands of dollars. So they can be very expensive. A general number would be somewhere between $2,000 and $15,000 for budgeting purposes. But again, you have to determine your application to properly apply that budgeting number.
Gotcha.
I think this, Jonas, from my own take, I mean, there's going to be a concern. Hey, there's going to be a concern for a lot of people reaching out for what they see as door automation versus accessibility. And you're going to have, just like in every other market, possible price gouging and everything else. So I mean, we are concerned on our side here as far as, I mean, as an organization through ADAM, we cannot control or discuss pricing.
Of course.
But I think this is going to put pressure on the organization as a whole. How do we communicate a range or a knowing amount that someone should sell based on the many applications that Tom alluded to, or instances where somebody feels like they're not being taken? Because somebody who's on a minor budget, $2,300 is a lot of money. Do they think it should be $1,000? Don't know, but those are some of the concerns we're dealing with as we see this mass push to provide hands-free entrances.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, we definitely want to set the expectations right. And yeah, because I agree with you. It's such a just like when people call me up asking me how much an opening is. Well, there's a whole lot of variables. So yeah, depending on your functionality and what you're doing. So what would you say if, let's say tomorrow, right? I decided I own a building and I need to set up a door operator on a single occupancy bathroom and my front door. And what would you say, like, what would be the typical type of turnaround time between having somebody out here, ordering it and getting it, or how long would you say it would take to order it and then, get it installed once once the people are on site? I know there's a lot of variables in there, but just sort of give you some general ideas of that.
Well, if you're dealing with a stocking distributor who's maintaining an inventory of low energy door operators, the installation would be based on his schedule, which could be as quickly as a week. I know if the communications and needs are properly communicated to our branch organization, we can have a door operator installed by the end of the week. It's really communicating effectively with the properly educated person that is properly qualified to install the type of door system that you've determined your building needs. If it's a high-end custom system, you may be looking at a 4 to 6 or more week lead time to actually build that door system and ship it out to the job site. If it's a simple low energy door operator, such as for a bathroom door or an office door that you described, that could be a stock item that could be pulled out of stock and installed within a few days.
Exactly. Yeah, well, look, you know what? This has all been very helpful. I think in this, I wanted to keep this short. And I think in this amount of time, we've really covered a lot of bases here. So if somebody is interested, thinks they have a need, and they're, and they want to explore this, I think it's a great idea. And I know with Record, you guys work on a distributor model, which we're one of. So If people want to get in touch, with folks like with Tom or Richard or Mark, would you mind if I tagged you guys on LinkedIn when I did this?
No,
Not at
no.
all. Mark,
I'm
do you have a
good
problem
with
with
Nope, not at all.
All right, great, and
I'm on LinkedIn.
perfect. I'll send you. I know I linked in with Tom and Mark,
Okay.
so we got it. And so if people want to reach me, you can call Access Commercial Door 908-725-9530, or connect me through LinkedIn or my email, jdevita@accesslock.org. And any closing thoughts before we shut this down?
I appreciate
No, I
the
thought this was a
opportunity.
great
That's
idea.
it. Yeah.
Well,
No, it was
I
a great
appreciate.
idea. We thank you very much for the opportunity, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Same here. I appreciate everybody's getting involved here. And let's see, maybe we started something cool. So
There you go.
My
Thanks for
final
your patience
comment-
while I had to switch through this technology.
that's all right.
Thanks, Jonas.
And my
you.
final comment is everyone stay safe.
Same here.
And
Same here.
healthy. Thanks,
That's
everyone.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Jonathan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Tom, Mark.
guys.
Be well. Thank you, Amy.
Stay well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.